So this is discussion of the Memetic Lexicon, some of the key definitions. And a lexicon is a 50-cent word for a dictionary. So what this is a dictionary of ideas surrounding the concept of the meme. Okay, I'll read the definition, then I'll try to explain it. Meme, a contagious information pattern that replicates by parasitically infecting human minds and altering their behavior, causing them to propagate the pattern. Term coined by Richard Dawkins by analogy with gene. Individual slogans, catchphrases, melodies, icons, inventions, and fashions are typical memes. An idea or information pattern is not a meme until it causes someone to replicate it, to repeat it to someone else. All transmitted knowledge is memetic. And so memes are not just cat videos, but they are cat videos as well. It's any information pattern that gets repeated. So you could think of stuff like the Ten Commandments, or an Emerson poem, or a Bach concerto, right? You hear a catchy tune on the radio, that's memetic. You might, you say to your friends, "Oh, that's interesting. This is a fun tune," and then you share it, and in the transmission of information from brain to brain, that's the kind of memetic complex, the meme repetition complex. What is a membot? A membot is a person whose entire life has become subordinated to the propagation of a meme, robotically and at any opportunity. Intense evangelicals, but not of specifically of a religious nature. So people who want to convert the world to say Marxism or vegetarianism, or eco-fascists, their membots. Due to internal competition, the most vocal and extreme membots tend to rise to the top of their hierarchy. This explains why people join cults. What is the meme pool? The meme pool is the full diversity of memes or ideas accessible to a culture or individual. Learning languages and traveling are methods of expanding one's meme pool. So where and when you happen to live determines to a very large extent the possible ideas that you would have access to. And so, being born in the 20th or the 21st century, you have all this technology at your disposal. Imagine being born, say, in the 13th century, and you're still in the dark ages. It's pre-Renaissance, and you're dealing with memes about like werewolves and vampires and witch burnings and that kind of stuff. Right? The meme pool is all of the possible memes or ideas accessible to a culture or individual. What is bait? Bait is the part of a meme complex that promises to benefit the host, usually in return for replicating the complex. It's the payoff for believing what you believe. So, for example, I'm a vegetarian. Well, why am I a vegetarian? Well, I think just in the world of karma, it's better not to eat living creatures, and I guess I feel a little less guilty if I don't eat flesh of any kind, and it benefits me in some weird way because I feel a little better about myself and how I relate to the rest of the world. I mean, bait is why people feel and believe what they believe. What is a meme complex? Well, it's a set of mutually assisting memes which have co-evolved a symbiotic relationship. Religious and political dogmas, social movements, artistic styles, traditions, and customs, chain letters, paradigms, languages, etc. are meme complex. Another way to say this, it's the kind of memes that tend to go together. So if you are a Republican, there is a good likelihood that you are pro-life, right? If you are a Democrat, there's a good likelihood that you are pro-choice, right? And you can find this all over the place, right? I mean, if you like baseball, if you're a sportive person, you tend to like football, right? And I mean, if you tend to like chess, right, there's a good chance that you like classical music because in a weird way, those ideas sort of go together. What is a vector? This is really interesting. So a vector is a medium, method, or vehicle for the transmission of memes. Almost any communication medium can be a memetic vector. So the how is the idea transmitted, right? Is it transmitted through language in a face-to-face context? I mean, do you get your information on Facebook or on Twitter, right? I mean, some people have said that Hitler and Mussolini and this kind of fascism was kind of a product of radio turned into the megaphone. Like so the vector was one guy talking being amplified across a huge stadium, right? You can change the medium, and that sort of alters how we experience the message. But for your purposes, you just need to know that a vector is a medium, method, or vehicle for the transmission of memes. What are exotoxic and autotoxic memes? Well, in a nutshell, it's exotoxic are ideas that are harmful to others, and autotoxic are ideas that are harmful to self. And I'll just read through it. Exotoxic, dangerous to others. Highly exotoxic memes promote the destruction of persons other than their hosts, particularly those who are carriers of rival memes. And so, like, colonization would be a really good example of an exotoxic meme where you just go over, you don't care about the native people, but you just want to pillage their resources. That's an exotoxic meme philosophy. Autotoxic memes are dangerous to itself, right? Dangerous to the person who holds them. Highly autotoxic memes are usually self-limiting because they promote the destruction of their hosts, such as the Jim Jones meme, right? That was a cult where they, in Guyana, like 700 people drank suicide-laced Kool-Aid, right? And so they committed suicide. Any military indoctrination meme complex can be really either exotoxic or autotoxic. I mean, this is what the Memetic Lexicon says, but I would say, a good defense is the best offense. But martyrdom memes. I mean, I think what if you had the idea that smoking cigarettes is not bad for your health, or that heroin is good, or that's an autotoxic meme because it's dangerous to the person who has that meme. Right? I mean, you could say like the extreme adrenaline junkies can be, they're really skirting with, these guys who fly off of mountains in their squirrel suits, and the extreme skiers and extreme surfers. They're taking crazy risks, and that could be considered autotoxic. What is censorship? Well, it's any attempt to hinder the spread of a meme by eliminating its vectors. Now, remember, a vector is a medium of communication. So if you burn all the books, for example, you're censoring the meme that's contained in the books. So I'll start again. Any attempt to hinder the spread of a meme by eliminating its vectors is called censorship, and censorship is analogous to attempts to halt diseases by spraying insecticides. Censorship can never fully kill off an offensive meme and may actually help to promote the meme's most virulent or hostile strain while killing off milder forms. And so, I mean, that's one of the things. If you try to censor something, it calls attention to it in a weird way, and other people want to say, "Hey, what's the big deal?" And that might actually spread the meme. What is infection? Well, it just on a very simple level, infection of a meme is when the idea passes from brain to brain. So it's the successful encoding of a meme in the memory of a human being. And just like, we become infected with diseases, we catch a cold or whatever. I mean, this is information theory, and don't necessarily think of infection in a negative way. Like you could say you've been infected with the English language, right? It's been successfully encoded in your mind, and just like you've been infected with the kind of sports that you enjoy. You like football or baseball, or at least you understand them. If you grew up in, say, Europe, maybe you'd be playing field hockey, which is a really kind of bizarre uh, merger of like soccer and ice hockey on grass. So tolerance allows its host to be repeatedly exposed to rival memes, even intolerant rivals, without active infection or meme allergic reaction. Tolerance is a central co-meme in a wide variety of schemes, particularly liberalism and democracy. And it's just the idea that you can expose yourself to different ideas without embracing that idea in your identity. So you could hang out with Jews without becoming a Jew. You could hang out with vegetarians without becoming a vegetarian. You could hang out with Marxists without becoming a Marxist. And because your identity is kind of strong enough, and you've been exposed to so many different ideas, you're not going to join another religion or a cult or radically change your behavior in any way. What is infection strategy? Any memetic strategy which encourages infection of a host, right? Remember, what infection means is the idea gets passed from brain to brain. It doesn't necessarily mean anything negative, right? You hear a good tune, you tell your mom about it, and she starts listening to that song. So, infection strategy, any memetic strategy which encourages infection of a host, right? You can think of a public health campaign and trying to get everybody to take the COVID vaccine, right? I mean, you want people to buy into those ideas. So jokes encourage infection by being humorous, tunes by evoking various emotions, slogans and catchphrases by being terse and continuously repeated. Terse means brief.